Okay. Listen, thank you everybody for joining us. This is a great community event. I'm Jano Lieber. I'm the MTA Chair and CEO. I'm here with MTA Construction Development President Jamie Torres Springer, Chief Accessibility Officer Quimel Arroyo, our partners when we're building all of these ADA accessibility projects. Today is a great day for MTA. It's the opening of yet another accessible station here at what is kind of, for me, the neighborhood. I live a little ways from here, at 7th Avenue and 9th Street in Park Slope. This is our 7th completed ADA project this year. This one is special. This is a long time coming. Folks who have been advocating for this project for many years are here, and I can't identify you all by name, but you just need to know how much we appreciate that you fought for this, and finally the MTA has been able to deliver, so God bless you and thank you. We are celebrating today with some local and elected leaders, stakeholders, people who are in the fight today. Assembly Member Bobby Carroll, thank you for being here. The City Council member is on her way, and right now we have representatives from Controller Lander's office and from U.S. Congressman Dan Goldman's office. Where are you? Thank you for being here. I also really want to acknowledge our partners at the Federal Transit Administration. We all hear about the Biden infrastructure law, but the way that money comes to New York is through the Federal Transit Administration, who is represented here today by Donald Burns, who is the Deputy Regional Administrator. This project was completed as part of a partly federally funded design-build package of 8 stations. It was the first time we've done a bundle of this kind. I won't take you through the details, but we're using innovative contracting as one of the strategies to get more of these projects done much more quickly. The rest of the stations that are included in that bundle are on a path that is hopefully going to deliver them by the end of this year. I'm looking back at my brother Torres Springer. We got to get them done by the end of this year. That will bring us to 12 stations done this year. This is so much faster than the MTA has ever been able to deliver these ADA projects, long overdue, but we're knocking them out literally 5 times as fast as in the past. There are 27 other ADA projects under construction right now. There's going to be 67 total completed in this capital program, the 2020 to 2024 capital program. Ladies and gentlemen, that is $5 billion of investment in ADA accessibility. Long overdue, but I think finally we are on the right track under Governor Hochul on this really important issue. I always talk about these issues. Accessibility is important for all the obvious reasons. We need people with mobility issues and parents with strollers, tourists with luggage, shoppers with bags. We want people to be able to go do their shopping without having to get in an automobile or an Uber. But let's be honest, New York can't function without first-class mass transit. And transit's important for other reasons as well. As I always say, our shared public spaces, in a time where everyone is arguing about, are urban areas safe, are urban areas desirable? Remember, our shared public spaces are what makes New York possible, but they're also the place where we prove out New York as the greatest experiment in tolerance and diversity. Every day, people share public space intensely, and they mostly get along. And this is one of the reasons why I think the transit system is in many ways a sacred space for New Yorkers. And let's not forget that transit is one of the very few things that makes New York affordable. It is literally 10 to 15% the cost of owning a car if you're getting on transit every day. So we're proud of that. And the bottom line is, for all those reasons, the system has to be accessible and affordable to everybody in New York. And that's why we are so proud that we have jump-started ADA accessibility as a priority in this administration. So thank you again to everybody for joining us, for fighting for this project, for supporting MTA. And with that, let me turn it over to my partner in all of this, MTA Construction Development President Jamie Torres Springer, a Park Slope resident. Jamie.
Thank you, Jano, and thank you for your leadership and for pushing us on our whole capital program, but particularly on ADA accessibility across the system. I'm really excited to be here today. You're right, Jano. I'll start off with the personal on this. This has really been my home station. Lived in Park Slope for many years. In fact, when my now 14-year-old daughter was born, we lived on 8th Avenue between 7th and 8th Street. So I personally have carried a stroller up and down these very stairs hundreds of times. And while she's 14, she doesn't even be carried up and down the stairs anymore. Many successors to me in this neighborhood will be able to benefit from these elevators, and we're tremendously excited about it for all of its accessibility benefits. Very glad that we're in the company of Assemblyman Carroll and Councilmember Hanif. We had the chance, along with Comptroller Lander and a couple members of the community, to tour this station a few months back. And one of the things that I think became apparent to everybody is that the shiny new elevators that you see here and down on taking you from the mezzanine to the platform are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of how much activity is required to execute big projects like this in a very active subway station. We were very happy to peel back the curtain and expand and show the many factors that made this ADA project so complex, but nonetheless, we're doing them throughout the system in the many ADA projects across the whole MTA subway system that Jana was describing. And 7th Avenue is a very special station for the Park Slope community, and as Jano said, the neighborhood has advocated for accessibility upgrades for so long. Good Neighbors Park Slope is represented very well here, and that advocacy, that unwavering support has been really critical to getting this project done. The advocates have been saying this for years. Accessibility at this station is not just critical because of neighborhood residents, but many schools and businesses along 7th Avenue. Methodist Hospital is here. It's so important that we have accessibility at this station, and now we do. Just to spend a second on what we've done here, because ADA compliance means more than just building elevators. We created and marked a new ADA boarding area. We added tactile strips along the entire length of the platform for customer safety. In addition to the 3 new elevators, we inlaid 700 square feet of beautiful new mosaic artwork commissioned by MTA Arts and Design. And the station will get a full station renewal within this capital program that we're in, including new stairways, tiling, lighting, ventilation improvements, and remediating that water intrusion that makes the tile look not so aesthetically pleasing. So that's all to come. Package, and it's the 7th newly ADA accessible station to open in 2023, with more to come. And so what I want to do before handing it over is just thank those who worked so tirelessly to get this across the finish line. Certainly thank and acknowledge our advocates. From our team at the MTA, we have Bill Montanili, who runs our stations group. Greg Maxsood, Errol George are all here. They were here day in and day out. Agron Gashi is a hero of so many of these stations, I think is out this week. So he's not here to be recognized, but we appreciate everything he does. And our contractor and consultant, Hill International, and Judd Lau, along with Modern Elevators, have helped us to bring all these stations into this ADA accessibility so quickly and effectively during this first design build package. So thank you to all of you. And with that, I want to hand it over to my partner in this, Camelo Arroyo.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Camelo Arroyo, and I have the pleasure to serve as the MTA's very first Chief Accessibility Officer. 7th Avenue Station is a critical access point in this vibrant community that has good transit, but until now, it's really lacked accessible subway options. We're on a stretch of the F and G that until last week had 8 inaccessible stations in a row, and not particularly close to other subway lines. So this lighting up in the station on the map is exactly what we mean when we talk about the goal of no longer having 2 separate maps for those who need accessible stations. That's a long-term goal that we have. We have a long way to go, but we're going to celebrate every station opening along the way. This station serves a lot of people here, and a lot of these community members have had an eye on this one for a long time. Park Slope is known for both the stroller set and the seniors that call this community home. And this accessible station means better transit options for both of those groups, as well as riders like me who use mobility devices to get around. The New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital is only 2 blocks up on 7th Avenue. This station alone will service critical needed transportation for a lot of people who go to that facilities, doctors, nurses, visitors, patients. But accessibility is not just for those who go to the hospital, right? A couple blocks away is Prospect Park, a destination for all New Yorkers that would now be that much more accessible, something I'm really excited about myself. And I'm not just talking about destinations nearby, right? Making this 7th Avenue station accessible opens up connectivity to the busy bus routes along this avenue, particularly the B67 and B69, which I rode myself this morning to get here today from Flatbush. Speaking of connectivity, making this station accessible is a great thing, and it will bring a big benefit to subway riders, but that's not enough. Riders of the G line know, but about as well as anyone, how important the subway's transfers are. Even with this station opening, there aren't enough options to transfer between subway lines at accessible stations, especially in the outer boroughs. And that's why we are committed to making 3 more G-line stations accessible in this capital plan in downtown Brooklyn, where customers can connect to the A lines and C lines. It's those connections that really unlock the magic of the subway systems and give us the maximum benefit from these projects. That's why we're so committed to continuing our historic pace of avoiding and completing ADA projects, and why we need a fully funded capital plan to keep that up, because we should all be able to travel across the whole system in that with the same access and ease. I want to give a couple of shout outs to the advocates that are here. Thank you all for continuing to push us and keep us true to our word. So a clap for the advocates, and in particular the PCAC that's here represented today. So thank you all, and it's truly a pleasure. Chairman?
Yeah, I mean, good reminder. We relied an enormous degree. New York is amazing in many ways. One is we have this network of transit advocates. So it's the community advocates like so many of you, but every day our transit advocates are pushing broadly for us to make progress on these fronts. So I just want to acknowledge Christopher Greif and Michael Ring and Kara Girl of the PCAC. These are the people who are fighting all the time to make sure we make progress. So thank you for that. So I talked before about how we're all trying to get some of that very, very sweet Washington money into New York. And the way we get it is through the Federal Transit Administration. Donald Burns, step up and say a few words.
Sure. So good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. On behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, Administrator Nuria Fernandez and Acting Deputy Regional Administrator Michael Collada, thank you very much. I think the opening of this station just indicates the commitment that the federal government is to making stations accessible. So thank you, and this is a great station. I don't live too far from here, and I too have carried strollers up and down these steps. So thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Bobby?
Good morning, Park Slope. I'm Assemblymember Bobby Carroll, and I want to thank Chairman Lieber and Construction Head Jamie Torres Springer and all the individuals who made sure this project gets done. But I want to thank most of all Bob Levine, Jamie Meltzer, good neighbors of Park Slope, and every single person who called my office, called Councilmember Lander's office, called Councilmember Shahana Hanif's office. The only reason that we have this done is because of all of you. If it had not been a priority since my predecessor was in office, we would not be standing here today. And I can say my wife's going to be very happy too that we're not going to have to carry our stroller down. But I want to put a finer point. This didn't get done because of strollers. This got done because of people with mobility issues, folks who had disabilities, folks who desperately needed an elevator or they would not be able to access our city. And it is amazing what the MTA has done in the last year of bringing that promise to more people. We need to keep fighting so that every station has an accessibility plan, because there are still too many people who are just a stop or two away, who it's really great that there's an elevator here, but there's no way to get to their subway stop around their corner. And we need to figure out a way to do that. I know that the folks in Park Slope and Windsor Terrace and Kensington and Gowanus are going to make sure that happens. I want to thank you for what you did. You've done a great service to the entire Park Slope community. Happy Thanksgiving and have a wonderful day.
Councilmember.
Good morning. Okay. I'm Councilmember Shahana Hanif, and what a great day for accessibility. I loved that you used the magic of the transit system, and I love that we get to talk about our connected transit system in that way. It is magical to be able to live in a city where we get to ride around the entire New York City and know that we'll get to our destination. But what makes that easier and accessible are the elevators. And so this elevator project in particular is very personal to me. Many of you know, and those of you who don't, at 17, I was diagnosed with lupus. And over the last 15 years, I've had to get both of my hips replaced, my left shoulder replaced. I got the left hip replaced again in my first year of office. And so the need for elevators and escalators in our transit system is absolutely urgent for me as a survivor of a long-term chronic illness. I'm happy to be in remission, but so much happier to have fought and mobilized with our neighbors here. And we give big gratitude to former Councilmember Brad Lander, our comptroller Brad Lander, who at the time decided, because of the urgency of our community, to put the elevator project on the participatory budgeting ballot. This was cycle 8. We're in cycle 13. And that year, not only did we put it on the ballot for a seed funding of $250,000, which absolutely pissed off the MTA, because they were like, we can't make these commitments in advance. But at the same time, neighbors were headed to the public meetings when the MTA was putting together their accessibility plan, which would outline that every second station would have an elevator. And we wanted to make sure that the MTA heard from us directly that the 7th Avenue station would be the one prioritized. Because the stretch from Kensington to J Street, from Church Avenue, where we have an elevator, up until J Street, where we have an elevator, there aren't any elevators through the whole network of the FG line. We've got some escalators on the Smith Street station, but beyond that, we don't. And so this was a necessity, and I am so proud that you all made this possible. I want to also congratulate the entire MTA team. I know every day you have to hear our criticism and about the train delays and about access issues on our elevators, but today we congratulate you and celebrate you because we are so excited that this community, which is home to a 10% growing aging community, elderly in Park Slope. We are close to the Center for Successful Aging. Heights and Hills members live here. The inpatient at the New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Hospital represents almost 40,000 people who are coming in as inpatient. And outpatient, almost 500,000, 500,000 people are moving around this neighborhood just to access this hospital. And so this is a big win for all of us. Again, congratulations to the good neighbors of Park Slope, every other pedestrian safety advocate who stood with us for years, every transportation activist, every neighbor who knew this was going to be good for our community. Thank you so much. We have achieved today, and I am so proud to represent you. And just again, thank you so much, and have a happy Thanksgiving. And please use this elevator. Keep us posted about how it's running. We want to continue to make sure that this is clean and it's operating well. Thank you.
All right, so I have to go. I have to go right at the issue of service since you raised it. Best subway service on the numbers in 10 years. Over 85% on-time performance. And let me tell you, when I get together with the guys who run the subways, you know what I say to them? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because those are the lines where we're pushing to actually make even more progress, and we got it. Listen, we acknowledge good neighbors of Park Slope. I also want to acknowledge a couple other organizations that have been in the push for this. Q reminds me, 9th Street Block Association, wherever you are, God bless you, and thank you for your involvement in this. And the Safety First Alliance, Myra Manning, I'm told, had a big involvement in this effort as well. So, where is Myra Manning? Well done. Congratulations.
Yes. May I just add one positive to this?
Positive. Let's hear from the positive.
Yes. I would like to commend the workers who, through incredibly challenging days, nights, and weekends, really did a superlative job for us, the residents. And I would also like to put a shout out to the residents who really are very grateful for this elevator and also for how much the MTA has done to help us seniors, residents, disabled, people with disabilities, visible and invisible, and children. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. That's it. I think.
All right. Well,
I think I turn it over to Minton to
well,
be the MC from here on.
Just to see if we have any press questions, we'll take that. All right.
3,
I think
2,
we're
1.
good.
Happy
Thank
Thanksgiving.
you. Thanks, everybody.
Baby straight. I will, I promise. I'll show you a picture right now.
In terms of aesthetics,